Hello. Last week we took a 5x7 design and split it into multiple parts so that we could print it on a 4x4 embroidery machine. Today we're actually going to use our 4x4 embroidery machine to print out the design. In order to do so, you will need some medium tearaway stabilizer. Once our designs are printed out, you're likely to have some leftover stabilizer. I would just keep those because you can use it on other projects. This is mine from when I've printed this out. So without further ado, let's get started. So now we're ready to embroider the first part of the design. So I'm just simply going to drop the foot and hit embroider. The first design finished embroidering, and as soon as it finished embroidering, it prompted me to print out the vertical and horizontal lines, which I opted to print in orange. I did not change out the bottom thread. I only changed out the top thread to this orange thread that you see right here. Now we're going to get ready to print the second file. So we're going to go back and print out the next piece of the design, which is the top of the banana. And if you remember, we scheduled the alignment lines to print first in this particular document. So what we're going to do is make sure that those alignment lines are lined up with these lines here before we begin printing. And we're going to rinse and repeat that same process for all of the things that we do. I rehooped the first design using the same stabilizer from before. I just moved it over 1 or 2 inches to make room for the second part of the design that needs to be printed. So I have the hoop design under the machine, and now we're ready to select the second file and print it out for the second hooping. I wanted you to see the screen here because this is the first design right here. This is the second one that we're going to print. As you can see, this line is longer than this one, but that isn't really going to matter so long as this horizontal line is on the same row as this line right here, and so long as the vertical line is in the same row as this one. So what we're going to do is try to align it in this embroidery window, and to do so, we're going to end the edit. Once we end edit here, it brings up this screen, and this is where we can move the needle. But we have to go to embroidery and then go to this plus minus sign right here and hit +1 in order to be able to see where that needle lands for the first stitch. So I don't know if you can see that, but the needle lands right there for the first stitch, and it needs to be moved up a little in order for it to work properly. So I have adjusted it, and now we're almost dead on. So the horizontal line is properly aligned. Now we have to do the vertical line. So I'm going to hit the plus on this little thread spool on the machine. That changes it to the second design. And now I'm going to hit the +1 button and see where that vertical line is. And if you can see here, it is off. It needs to come all the way over here in order to be aligned properly. So we're going to do that. So now this is perfectly in alignment. So we're going to stitch out the alignment line, but we don't need a thread for the second one just because it's just going to cause us to have to unpick that much more thread. So I'm going to take out the top thread and just stitch it, and it will show holes here so that we can see that everything is in alignment. Then we'll go ahead and print out that second design. I want to let you see the air print. So now we're just going to thread our thread and stitch out the second design. So the second part of our design has printed out, and as you can see, it is in perfect alignment. The only thing I need to do is get the thread snips out and snip a few threads, but other than that, it's great. I'm going to rinse and repeat the same process for all 3 of the other sections, and then I will show you the finished product. This is the end result of printing larger than 4x4 on a 4x4 embroidery machine. Everything turned out pretty good. There are a few areas here where I would go into the embroidery file itself and clean up, but that's a matter of the original file itself and not a matter of a problem with me printing. If I didn't tell you, you wouldn't be able to tell that I printed this out on a 4x4, and that was the goal of this project, so I'm pretty happy with it. Now, this alignment line here, I will go in and remove that with either some snips or with a thread unpicker. It's quite easy. It's just like removing basting stitches. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.